Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I want to talk about a few of the products that I just cannot stop reaching for. So I have 6 products for you that I use a good 80% of the time that I'm getting ready because I just can't stop reaching for them, and I feel like they are great staples to have in your collection. A few of them I've had for a while, a couple of them are newer, and it's a mix of drugstore and high-end. I am also wearing all of them on my face today. So let's talk about them. I guess we'll go in order maybe of use. So the first one, and also the newest out of all of these, is the Tarte Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Full Coverage Foundation. I have had this little sample for probably too long, but I got it out and I was like, you know what, let me just finally use it and see if I like it, because I've really been on a powder foundation kick for quite a while. So I was like, maybe let's just try something else. And you guys, I really don't like full coverage foundation, even though my skin at times could definitely use it. I don't like how it looks on my skin. It tends to look very cakey and like not great. But I was like, well, let's try it. And actually, I don't find that this is full coverage. I can definitely still see freckles and imperfections through it, which is actually fine with me. I would say this is definitely medium to buildable coverage, but I still would not say that even if you build it up, is it full coverage. Maybe if your skin is a lot more perfect than mine, but on my skin, it never gets to full coverage, which again is fine by me. I have the sample in the shade Light Neutral. I would say that it is maybe a hair too dark, but of course it looks okay once I get everything on. But I think once I run out of this, I'm definitely buying the full size, and I'm gonna see if the shade underneath this is too light, and if not, then I'll just go ahead and get Light Neutral again. But I'm loving this. It looks so good on my skin. It does not look cakey or gross or unflattering, and it is definitely by far the longest wearing foundation that I have tried in a long time. Every time that I've worn this, it's pretty much been, like between 5 and 8 hours, because I usually don't end up wearing it for a full day, just because I tend to get ready a little bit later, or I'm getting ready early, and then once I'm in for the day, that's it, my makeup is coming off. But last week I wore this and wore it for a full 16 hours, and it was still looked the exact same as whenever I put it on. Shocking. So I would highly recommend this if you are in the market for a new foundation, especially if you do like a medium to higher coverage foundation. And I would say that probably not great for dry skin, but if you have like normal to combo oily, probably going to be pretty good for you. Next up, I tend to put on my eyeshadow before these other things. So we'll talk about the eyeshadow palette. I do have a few eyeshadow palettes that I tend to reach for more often than others, but this one is definitely one that, because of the selection of shades, I just reach for a whole lot. And it is the Dose of Colors Desi X Katie Friendcation palette. It is stunning. I'm wearing it today. I'm wearing this shade, these 2 mattes, and then Just a Kiss. That's it. Super easy to blend, looks great. I love it. And if you can tell, like, it almost looks unused. Like I've dipped into all of the colors a little bit, but especially these shimmers, I literally just pat it in with a finger a little bit and then just go on. Like I don't have to like drag it with a brush or anything. So pigmented, and also I find that with my finger, I don't get as much fallout. But sometimes I'll just go in with just the mattes, which are these 3 and these 2, and I'll just do an all matte look like that. But the shimmers are stunning. Love the selection. I like that it's pretty neutral, but then you have these like pops of color over here. Just a really, really, really versatile palette. It is $55, I think, at Ulta. So I would say, because I got it on sale, I think I might have only paid like 30 bucks for it, which I thought was a steal. But I would say if you could get this with your 20% off or pick it up with points, definitely worth it. Next up, I tend to apply highlighter first and then blush. So a highlighter. Now I mentioned in my declutter that was like products that have to go. I showed you a highlighter that I was getting rid of, which I don't even remember which one it was now. But it was kind of pinky. So I showed you some more pinky highlights that I really like instead. But this one I didn't show because it wasn't pinky. But this is easily one of my most used highlighters. It is the Hourglass Ambient Incandescent Strobe Light. I just got the mini size, and honestly, like, I thought, like, oh, strobing powder, like, gonna be way too much for me. I don't like a blinding highlight, but you guys, this is so subtle and just glowy. It's just a lit from within glow. And so I feel like a lot of people are like, ooh, a strobe powder. Like, if you don't like blinding highlights, then you would be a little bit shy of this. So that's why I picked up the mini, but ooh, it is just perfect. I also have it on my inner corner and then like brow bone, a little bit down the bridge of my nose and stuff like that. But it's gorgeous. And I use this so often and have barely made a dent in it because a little goes a long way. But at the same time, I feel like I can't really overdo it. Like, I can tap and it gets a lot on the brush and just kind of go ham all over my cheek. And it just diffuses into the most beautiful, ethereal highlight. Highly recommend this. Next up is a blush that I just cannot stay away from. I feel like this is one of those OG beauty YouTuber favorites that people don't really talk a whole lot about nowadays. And it's definitely not the only blush that I use, but I have blushes that I really like if I'm wearing like a more purple or pinky look, which is, you know, what I do quite often, or I'll do just neutral. And if I'm doing neutral, I really love to use this one because it just goes with everything. And it is the Milani Baked Blush in Luminoso, of course. It's just so pretty. So pretty. I just love it. I feel like sometimes the lights wash out my blush a little bit. It's a little bit more intense in person because I add a little bit more than I need to because of the lights. But it just looks great. It's stunning. I just love it. And I also have the lip gloss. Am I actually wearing that right now? I think I am. I'm wearing one of the Milani Keep It Full lip plumping glosses. And I think it might be Luminoso. I think it is because I have a peachy one and this was the more pinky one. So I'm also wearing the matching gloss. All right, next up is setting spray because I use the setting spray first and then I go in with my mascara because otherwise I would be a mess. But this one is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Primer 3-in-1 Primer Water Prep Set Refresh Setting Spray in the coconut scent or whatever. I find that this does not irritate my skin. It just looks great. Especially if I'm wearing a powder foundation. It really takes away any powderiness, makes it look like skin. It does make my makeup last a little bit longer. I feel like everything kind of stays in place and it just dries down really nicely. The spray is really nice. It's not too like in your face. It's a nice little like mist and I can really just like spray all over. It dries quickly. Perfect. And I think this is only like $3 or $4. Then on to the mascara. This is one that I only use on my bottom lashes because I feel like on the top lashes, they're just too close together to really allow this wand to get in there. But for my bottom lashes, it's perfect. And it is the Wet n Wild Mega Length Mascara. It's in the purple tube. And it has one of those silicone wands that looks like this. It's a little bit of like a little stick or something. This works great on my lower lashes. It allows me to get up pretty darn close because the bristles are not super long. And I can just get in there, kind of wiggle it around. It lengthens great. It separates. Just really good. And I think that this was like $2 or $3. Just a great price. And it's the only bottom lash mascara that I have been using lately. And also, oh, it's waterproof. I've had this for like a month now and I'm only just now noticing that it's waterproof. because I was going to say a second before I noticed that this is extremely hard to remove. And now I know why. So I tend to like, if I'm home and I'm using this, like I'm usually using a cleansing balm to get everything off. And I noticed that whenever I used the Pond's cleansing balm that I ended up stopping using because of the mineral oil, it did not get this off at all. It was all still left on there. Whenever I use the Clinique Take the Day Off cleansing balm, it gets most of it off, but it still is clinging on there. And whenever I use the Physicians Formula 3-in-1 Matcha cleansing balm, that gets it all the way off. But man, I really have to let it sit there for a minute and then like wiggle my fingers back and forth. This is intensely waterproof. And I can't believe I only just now noticed that on the tube. Because normally I don't buy waterproof mascaras. So man, there you go. So those are the six items that I have just been reaching for so much and that I tend to favor over a lot of my other makeup that I really enjoy. So definitely check them out if you are in the market for any of those. And I guess that's it. I will catch you guys next time. Bye.